Oh, all right, let's see here. Carlos says can't hear. Maybe if you could just tap on the audio, you could get in there. All right, let's see here. Let's see here. All right, we're still getting some people coming in. Excellent, loving these people. Let's go. All right, let's go. Let's see here. Yeah, this is a good song. All right. Welcome, everybody. Just having some people trickle in. Loving seeing everybody here. If you would like to show your pretty faces, that would be great too. And just drop it in the chat how you're feeling today. Nice. Did your house cleaning, Carla? That's a good thing. Yeah. I don't like house cleaning, but hey, it's a good thing. Love it.
Recording in progress.
All right, here we go. Let's see here. All right, we're just having some people trickle in. Drop in the chat how you're feeling today. Just drop in the chat, tell me how you're feeling. We have some people that are feeling optimistic, and some people that have done their workout, cleaning. Man, I really admire the people that are cleaning because I don't like to clean, but I try to keep this desk as clean as I possibly can. Feeling hopeful, absolutely love it. Anybody else? People that are dropping in, drop in the chat how you're feeling today. If you could, come on camera, would love to see your face. That would be amazing. We have Jennifer in the house. We have Julie. Excellent. Jennifer's in the house. Welcome, Jennifer. Good to see you. Cleaning is next. Just turn on the tunes and go. I love it. Excellent. All right, easy into the day. Yes, getting this started. Good to see you all. Amber, good to see you. Brenda, Darlene. All right, excellent. Good. Carla, I love that background. Got laundry going. Yes, I did my laundry last night. Excellent. Cool. So I think we have, for the most part, almost everybody, but just to respect everybody's time, we're gonna get started. So just kind of like to just say thank you for everybody for trusting in me, for being here. I really appreciate you. I have so much love for a lot of you that I've met personally, even had some lunches with you. And we also have some people from out of Arizona. So I'm really excited to have you here. And in this workshop, what we're going to be doing, just pretty much learning how to love yourself more. That's something that I've had challenges with. And I mean, to this day, sometimes I still kind of have those challenges, but I'm going to be sharing some tools with you that have helped me out to love myself more. And I'm hoping that it can help you. And another thing is that everything that all the people that paid for their ticket today, I just want to let you know that these funds are actually going to my son's teacher, because unfortunately her husband committed suicide this week, and left behind the mother, which is my son's teacher, and 3 young ones. I think the kids are like 3, 5, and 7. So just I could just imagine, especially being a father, just leaving my kids and leaving my family, like that's just so terrible. But this is exactly why we're doing this today, to just like help them out, and then also to help you out. So kind of like just to get things started, what we're going to first do is play a little bit, because I think it's important that we play in life, that we have a little bit of fun. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing something called brain games. Some of you have done the brain games before. And this is something that I learned from a mentor and good friend of mine, Enrique Feldman, who passed away a couple of years ago. And his passing was so challenging for me. I mean, to this day, I still miss the guy, but I feel like he's still here in spirit. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of music on, to get your blood flowing. Maybe you're feeling a little tired. Some of you did work out, which is great, but I want to get the blood flowing a little bit here. And you're just going to follow my lead. So for this, you're going to need your hands for this, okay? So I'm going to put on the music. Can everybody hear the music? All right, cool. Excellent. All right, so this is what we're going to do. You're going to need your hands for this. So the first brain game that we're going to do is you're going to put your hands out like this. Hands out like this, and then you're going to go like this. Excellent. Every time I go to like a high school, they say, John Cena, you can't see me. All right, excellent. You're doing great. All right, and stop. Excellent. All right, good. So now I'm glad you did great because that's a 3-year-old brain game. I'd be a little bit concerned if you didn't get that one right, but let's make it a little bit more challenging. The next one is put your finger out like this with your thumb like this, and then put your thumb up like this. And then on the count of 3, I want you to switch. 1, 2, 3, and switch. Switch. There you go. Excellent. See some of you smiling. Excellent. Good, good. All right. Next one and the last one is put your hand on your ear and then on your nose. Cross them. You got to cross them. And then on the count of 3, I want you to switch. 1, 2, 3, and switch. Okay, some of you are getting it. Okay, excellent, excellent. All right, all right, all right, excellent. Give yourselves a round of applause. Excellent. Good, good stuff. See, I think it's really important that we play a little bit sometimes. You know, some of you were laughing when you were trying to do the brain games. I think it's really important that you have a little bit of fun in life, because if you don't have fun, man, you get old quick. You know, you get like those viejitos that are always grumpy and upset. And sometimes I get into the viejito mode. So I'm not saying I'm perfect, but you know, sometimes that happens. No, welcome, Darlene. It's way harder than it should have been. Excellent. Cool. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna just share my screen here, and then all right, I'm just gonna mute in case there's like a lot of noise. I know sometimes I do that. All right, let me just share my screen here. Okay, cool. So loving yourself from the inside out, this is something that I have taught many people. I've also taught high schoolers and college students in regards to just loving yourself more. So I want to share a very interesting and kind of alarming statistic that there's 85% of people worldwide have a low self-esteem. So that's a big number if you ask me. I mean, if we think about how many people are in this world, there's like 8 billion, I think now. I think we hit the 8 billion mark. But I just want to ask you and drop in the chat. And I want you to drop in the chat, like, why do you think people have a low self-esteem? I want to get your answer. Like, drop in the chat. Maybe you can just share based off from like your personal self or just what you think. Drop in the chat. Why do you feel people have a low self-esteem? You want to drop it in the chat. Or if you want to unmute yourself, you can just say it's cool. Childhood issues, they feel they do not measure up. Absolutely. Carla, thank you for sharing. Julie, thank you for sharing. Conformity to society's expectations. Ooh, wow, that's deep right there. Hard on themselves. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, Jeanette. Anybody else? Drop in the chat. Commercials always trying to sell us ways to be worthy. Ooh, that's a good one, Jennifer. Childhood trauma, societal expectations for sure. Feel they don't belong and negatively talking about themselves. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you everybody for sharing this. Feel they don't belong. And yeah, okay. So yeah, thank you everybody for sharing this. And yeah, these are really good because of past mistakes or things you feel you should have done. Ooh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Darlene. And thank you everybody for sharing this, because these are absolutely some of the things that we all deal with. And I myself personally have dealt with this. I know that some of my clients deal with this to this day. And that's why, you know, I love what I do. I love to serve my clients to help them be able to get over those mistakes or feeling like they belong, that they're good enough, because everybody, we are all good enough. And sometimes like commercials Like right now, I don't know if you guys heard me playing some music, you know, I can't live if living is without you. Like that's what we're taught sometimes. Like if you're not with me, then I'm not good enough. Like I can't love. And so all these songs, sometimes music that is played, that stuff can really program us. And so I want to share just like a little bit about myself. When I was growing up, I was always seeing my family and friends who were always like admiring famous people and like boxers. We would go watch the boxing matches. I don't know if anybody remembers Julio Cesar Chavez. Like everybody loved that guy, you know, and we would always go watch him. And I would see the enthusiasm from like my grandparents, my father, of like, wow, this guy's amazing. That's so cool. This guy is really good. Like they would look up to him. And then basketball, I would look up to Michael Jordan and think about like, wow, if I'm a basketball player, then I will be loved. If I am somebody famous, I will be loved, because I would see my family looking at these people with so much admiration and so much love. And then I would be like, okay, in order for me to be loved, I got to be famous. I got to do something big. And I wasn't realizing that I was really trying my best to just please other people, to make other people proud of me. And that was a big struggle for me, because after high school, I was having a lot of struggles because I didn't really live up to that expectation that I had about myself, or that I felt that others had of me. And so then I ended up at jobs that I hated. I was struggling a lot, and I was extremely miserable with my life. And I was having a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression. And because of that anxiety and depression, I turned to alcohol, I turned to pills, I turned to gambling, I turned to drugs like cocaine. At one point, I almost OD'd on coke. It was a really scary experience, and I was also like like just overeating. I was eating my feelings. I was eating a lot of foods to make me feel better. I don't know if anybody's ever had like, I don't want to say an addiction, but just like a bad habit that we have or had in order for us to feel fulfilled. And because of my eating habits, now I was weighing 265 pounds and was even more depressed because of my physique. This is a picture of myself 12 years ago. And I always joke around, you know, because, being a Mexican, sometimes we make fun of each other. And a lot of people would call me meatball cheeks, cachetes albóndiga, because I got big, I mean, I still got big cheeks, you know, but back in the day, I was like, big cheeks, you know? So, and my nana would always be so cute. She'd be like, oh, qué gordito, look at he's so chunky, and look at those cheeks. And I'm like, grandma, come on, man. Like, but she loved me. So she was, you know, they keep it real, sometimes a little too real. But yeah, my grandma was amazing. So yeah, this was me. I was struggling, and it was because of these rules that I had. I had rules that I had to be a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer, a surgeon, just like my family and friends. And if I wasn't, that I wasn't good enough. That was my rule. So those were my rules in order for me to feel loved and accepted. And we all have rules in order for us to feel loved and accepted. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put you all in a breakout room. And I think this is another important thing, that we bring each other to have a community of people that are on the same path, because all of you are here for a reason. You want to grow and you want to evolve. And I think it's important that you meet new people that can grow and evolve with you as well. I think it's important that also, for us to love ourselves, we got to meet other people that are on the journey of loving themselves as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you in a breakout room, and all you're going to talk about is you're going to talk about the rules that that you unconsciously maybe didn't even recognize that you have in order for you to feel loved. Okay. And then after you recognize what the rules are that you have, I want you to change the story, because once you change the story, you change your life. So with this person that you're going to be talking to, I want you to tell them, what are the rules? Think about as many rules as you possibly can that you have right now in order for you to feel loved. And then after that, I want you to say, what are you going to do to change that story of that rule? So let me just put the breakout room. Let's see here. Give me a second here. All right. And then just gonna make sure that okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put you in a breakout room. One of them is gonna have 3 people. So I'm gonna put you in there for about 8 minutes. So you all can just talk about like the rules that you have. And then also like talk about like what the new rules are gonna be, like what the new story is gonna be. Does anybody have any questions? Everybody good? Does everybody understand? Just the rules that you have, and then what is gonna be the new story. Okay?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I'm a little bit confused on so like rules like what, like respect or something like that?
No, like rules, like for example, my rule was that I had to be successful in order for me to feel loved. We all have different rules, like in order for us to feel loved. So, and then what we have to do is we have to change the story of that
Oh,
rule.
okay.
Does
I
that,
see.
yeah?
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Thank you for asking. I appreciate it. Anybody
Okay.
else like have any like confusion or any questions? All right, cool. So I'm going to put you in the breakout room, talk to these people, and just be open. The only way to grow is to be open and to be able to share and be vulnerable and share these experiences with other people. Everybody's here for a reason. Everybody's here to grow and evolve, okay? So I'm going to put you in a breakout room. And like I said, just share what is your rule for you to feel loved and what are you going to do to change that story? All right, here we go. I'm going to open up the rooms. Please accept it. Here we go. Boom. Let's go. Just accept the invitation. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, cool. Excellent. Resume the recording. All right, we're just waiting for everybody to come back. Let's see here. All right, the room should close out in a few seconds. All right, welcome back, everybody. All right, excellent. All right, cool. So real quick, welcome, Gabby. Good to see you. I like that bracelet, by the way. It's a good looking bracelet. It's good. All right, cool. So how was that experience for everybody? Like, I just want to like, how was the experience? And then if anybody would like to share, like, whoa, I didn't realize that I had that rule in order for me to feel loved. Would anybody like to share? Just drop in the chat, or maybe if you want to unmute yourself and just share that. And then what is going to be your new story? Would anybody like to share? Or just drop in the chat? Gabby.
I'll share only because I don't want to take over, okay?
Okay, go for it.
But I was telling her that when I've been in places where we're familiar with networking, you know, we're trying to fit in. And I just have to remind myself now of who I genuinely am, the person that I am. I'm a good person and I have good intentions. And that is, you know, people are always looking to be the attention. They want the attention versus us wanting the attention, if that makes sense. But I think just reminding myself that I don't need to be anyone specifically, create anyone aside from who I am to know that I'm bringing something good to the table.
Yeah.
I don't have to fit in, you know what I mean?
Thank you, Gabby. Yeah, that's powerful. So you just changed the story. Do you see that? I love that. So thank you for sharing that. Anybody else?
I thought that I like it was interesting for me to see the similarities and the things that we were experiencing as far as what made us feel loved or what we thought made us feel loved. So that was interesting to me. There's such similarities, especially among women, I think, the things that we feel.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that, Brenda. And that's powerful that now you have somebody that you're like, oh, wait, I'm not alone. That's another thing. Like, you have to understand that you're not alone. We all have rules. It's just that sometimes, you know, people are good at just like, you know, we have to hide it sometimes. Like we feel we have to hide it. We have to feel like you have to put a mask, like everything is all right. But, you know, we all have our challenges. So thank you for sharing that, Brenda. Anybody else would like to share? Anybody else like what is a rule that you saw? You're like, whoa, okay, I didn't know that. And now, like, what can you do to change that? I was the only loved. If I had money, I was skinny and very smart, witty. As I have gotten older, youth has also become a big deal. Then that was a lie. I was loved, fat, broken, love. I love. Yo, Carla, thank you for sharing that. That's powerful. That's very courageous of you to share. I appreciate you for that. And I'm sure that a lot of other people appreciate that as well. Amber, love that comment right there. That's so true. You know, like we feel like you said, we have to be skinny, smart, we have to have money in order for us to feel loved. And really, it's not true. You know, like I love how you said, I was loved, fat, broken, and loved and old. I love that. Thank you for the information. It was lovely chatting with you. Okay. Okay, that's cool. Awesome. Anybody else? Anybody else like would like to share?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope that was helpful. Like, I don't know if anybody else share, drop in the chat, or if you want to unmute yourself, we'd love to hear it. Okay, cool. Yeah. And then just reminding yourself that, you know what, like you're perfect just the way that you are. You really are. And but it's important that we recognize this, because if we don't, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be continuously attracting people who are not feeling loved themselves. Like I remember for myself personally, I used to be in a lot of relationships that were really bad, you know, like relationships where I was always expecting her to love me and her to complete me. And then, you know, she was expecting me to complete her and love her. And it was just completely chaotic relationships. I was always in chaotic relationships. It never worked out. We chatted about how it's easy to overextend ourselves trying to please others. Ooh, it's okay to say no sometimes. That's a huge one. Setting boundaries, saying no to things. And that's a form of self-love. You got to set those boundaries and you got to be honest with yourself. Like, are you really doing, like when you're doing too much, you got to say, I got to pause. I got to say, you know what? I can't do it. I'm sorry. And by the way, in my book, I don't know if anybody's ever has read it, the Do It Now Secrets to Overcome Procrastination. I give you about 50 ways of saying no, or maybe even more. But because that's something that I've seen a lot of my clients have challenges with, saying no to people. Okay. And then saying yes to themselves. Because when you say no to somebody, you're saying yes to yourself. Don't forget that. So for me, with these relationships, I struggled a lot because I was always expecting them to love me. And then in return, they were expecting me to love them. So it was always chaotic relationships. And I was always having challenges with the relationships because I was having a challenge with my own relationship with myself. And so when we expect other people to love us, or we have any expectations of other people, it equals suffering. I remember when I was talking to one of my coaches, I told them, hey, man, like this person, they're not doing what I said. It's really upsetting me because I was expecting them to do it. And then he says, well, when you're expecting other people to do things, you suffer. And I was like, why? Why do I suffer? And he says, well, because you're getting upset. Look at you. You're all worked up. And they didn't meet your needs. They didn't meet your expectations. You were trying to change them and they didn't. And now you're suffering. And I said, oh, okay, yeah, I am suffering. And if we continue to expect other people to do things the way that we want them to, we're going to continue to suffer. And I love this quote right here that says, people have never broken your heart. They broke your expectations. So people do not break our hearts. They break our expectations. Because we have this rule, in order for us to be loved, people have to do certain things or be a certain way. But then by breaking your heart, by breaking your expectations, they got you closer to your heart. Because I think when people break your expectations, you suffer, you go through some pain, but you learn through the pain and you grow through the pain and you can evolve through that pain. But this is why it's extremely important that we stop having expectations of other people, but instead appreciating other people. And I love this quote that says, trade your expectations for appreciation and the world changes. So right now, I want to ask you, what are in your life, like where have you been putting some expectations on people that they need to do certain things in order for you to make you feel loved? And then I also want you to write down, what do you appreciate about these people? So what are some expectations that you've had of people in order for you know, like to make you feel loved? What are the expectations that you've had of them? And or maybe it could just be expectations that you're like, hey, you should be this way, or you're expecting people to be a certain way. Because when you're expecting and they don't do it, then you suffer and then you're hurting yourself. You're not loving yourself. So what are some expectations that you have of people? Like, I mean, I know for myself personally, I've had some expectations of like my parents. And especially my dad, he's the older dude, and sometimes I expect him to change to his old negative ways. And he's trying, and sometimes he doesn't do it, and I get upset. I act like a little kid. I'm like, it's still out there, like, damn, he doesn't change. What's wrong with him? And then I suffer. But drop in the chat, like, what are to communicate regularly? Okay, yeah, okay. And then, yeah, communication, that's the next. We expect people to do that. And sometimes, unfortunately, these people don't have the awareness in order for them to be able to communicate. Or maybe they're just not good at it. I don't know. But then what can we appreciate about these people? If you want to drop it in the chat, Teresa. To be forthright, okay. Expecting family support. Yeah. To spend time with me. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Darlene, for sharing that. I appreciate you. Absolutely. Yeah, I can share this with you, Gabby. You got it. Anybody else? Like, and then what can you appreciate about these people? So expecting family support, what can we appreciate about them? For my sons to help me when I ask them to. I also want them to do it as I ask them to. Thank you, Carla, for sharing that. I appreciate that. Drop in the expectations. Let's keep dropping the expectations that we have. And then after that, I want you to drop in the chat or even unmute yourself. Just be sincere and honest. Yeah. That they're all in my life at all. Yeah. That they're in your life. Okay. Just be sincere and honest. Yeah. And that's something that, we wish we could have people be sincere and honest. The individual is a great conversationalist. Perfect. Thank you, Teresa. Awesome. Anybody else? Be around each other when it's best not to so often. Okay. Yeah, not so. Yeah, sometimes that's that boundary, where you're like, hey, I'm not going to be around this person so much because it could be toxic. We all have people who were like, man, we get in the room and it's like, ooh, I appreciate that the disconnect pushes me to be resilient and creative. Okay, cool. Excellent. They help when they can and they love me where they are at. Nice. Good stuff, Carla. Anybody else? Like, what is an expectation that you have of people for you to feel loved? And then what do you appreciate about these people? Anybody else? I mean, if you want to, like I said, if you want to unmute yourself, even when we love someone, we don't have to maintain a relationship if it's not healthy. Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to sustain that relationship. And something that I learned is like letting people know, hey, first, hey, this is how you make me feel. I would really appreciate it if you don't do it. If they don't respect that, then sometimes it's time to cut ties. Like I remember a client of mine, she said she would tell me, well, it's because they're family, that's how they talk to me. But how does it make you feel? Well, it makes me feel really down about myself. I feel like I have really low self-esteem because they would talk to her like really negatively. They would make fun of her. And I told her, well, what can you do to stop that? And she said, well, I don't know. I don't think I can do anything. Well, that wasn't true. And she finally set a boundary. And first they laughed at her because she had been taking this like beating for so many, not beating literally, but like, with the words, she had been taking it so much that they're like, are you serious? Like, what are you talking about? But then after so many years, like, she finally had them like start respecting her, and sometimes she had to just separate herself from them. So, but as you can see, those expectations, when you change them into appreciation, everything changes, because what's wrong is it's always available, but so is what is right. So, and the beauty is that we have the choice. Like, what do we want to put our focus on? You see, where focus goes, energy flows. You put your focus on the expectation, on the things that they're not doing, you're going to get more of the negative. But if you put your focus on the good that they're doing, you're going to get more of that. So really be mindful of like these expectations. They could really hurt you. They lead to suffering. And I've suffered a lot. Even to this day, sometimes that expectation for me has been a challenge, with family. Sometimes I'm trying to like, make people do things. And I'm like, wait, man, it's being a controller. Like, stop being such a control freak, man. And I have to tell myself that from time to time, hey, stop being so controlling, man. Like, you're gonna ruin this relationship, or you're gonna make things worse. So really important that you trade that expectation for appreciation. And then now we're gonna take a few minutes, and I want you to write, because oftentimes we also have expectations of ourselves and we can be hard on ourselves. But what I want you to do right now is I want you to take a few minutes to write down what you are proud of yourself for. Like all the things that you've done in your life. I want you to take about 3 minutes. I'm going to put some music and I want you to write down all the things that you're proud of yourself. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put on some music. There we go. Some good music. All right. I see everybody just writing down what they're proud of themselves, which is really cool. And I'm glad that you guys are keep writing there. That's good. I'm glad. That just shows that, hey, you know what? I do have a lot to be proud of. So real quick, just I don't know if you want to drop in the chat or unmute yourself. I'd be more than happy to like listen to your guys' beautiful voice, but it's up to you if you want to drop in the chat or just, you know, unmute yourself and tell me, what did you come up with? What are you proud of yourself for? Let me see. All right, let's see here. Willing to try new things. Yeah, Teresa, for sure. Yeah, we had a good conversation yesterday about that. So good stuff. Yeah, I know Teresa's always trying some new stuff. Every time we see each other, she's like comes up with some new stuff that she's doing.
I'm proud of me for taking action. Just the tiny action breaks that. You know,
Yes.
taking action, the smallest action.
There you go, Gabby. Thank you. Yeah, Gabby's taking some serious action. You're not taking small action. Come on.
So
Anybody?
I wrote down about 4 things. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I wrote down about 4 things that I'm proud of. So one, first and foremost, being setting boundaries and establishing an open, honest relationship with my sons.
Ooh, nice.
Not allowing my past experiences and traumas to harden my heart and soul, continuing to be open to love, friendships, you know. Maintaining my career for the last 5 years, despite my mental and physical health, and setting healthy boundaries.
Nice, nice, good stuff. And then who is that, by the way? I'm sorry, because your number
It's
just
Amber. It's Amber.
Amber. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, gotcha. Thank you, Amber. I appreciate you. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. That was very powerful for you to share that. And I'm proud of you for saying what you're proud of yourself for. Okay. Anybody else? I know everybody was writing. Come on. Let's be tell me what are you proud of yourself for? Drop it in the chat or unmute yourself. I want to hear it. It's important that we express these wins or these good things about ourselves. So we have Teresa and then Amber shared. Anybody else? No matter how hard life has been, I always see the beauty in life. I'm proud that I don't give up on love. I'm proud that I am able to learn and do and to help others to learn. I'm proud of how I am still standing. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Carla. Good stuff. Anybody else? Who else wants to share like other stuff that they are proud of themselves? Sometimes it's hard to say what you're proud of yourself for. It's it's not easy sometimes because we're more hard on ourselves than what we are proud of ourselves. Getting back into the workforce after 6 years, staying at home with kids, went through a lot of interviews, but continued knowing that there was a plan for the right job. Nice, good job, Jennifer. Congratulations on that. And yeah, that's no easy. That's not easy. Like to be taking care of kids. How many kids do you have, by the way? Just curious. 2? Okay, yeah, two's enough. Yeah, 2 is enough. Anybody else? What
Only
are
one.
Yeah, go ahead, Brenda.
So, but first I want to say, I really like how many people said that they were proud of the fact that they didn't let any of the things that they've gone through, like hurt their heart in a way that doesn't let them try to love again.
Ooh.
Because that, like, I kept hearing that over and over, and I feel like that's so important. Like we tend to let, you know, if we're not doing the work, we tend to let people, you know, affect that in that. So I was proud of you all for saying that. Let's see, I'm proud of raising 3 kids with good hearts.
Yeah.
I'm proud of building a successful business. I'm proud of all the small steps I've taken over time to try to improve myself. And I am proud of being nice while doing it.
Yeah, love it. Thank you, Brenda. And Brenda's amazing. She's got a really big heart, a really good person. And she also has like amazing project that she has called Midlife Single. And she's doing a lot of great work with that to just help people who are actually just explain it really quick so you can just people know about it, Brenda.
So Midlife Single kind of came out of when I was going through my divorce and just stepping out into the single scene and dealing with all of that and learning about myself and all that. But Midlife Single really is it's kind of like a social club, but we do a lot of activities in, you know, like a friend sort of way. It's not about dating. It's about meeting people and growing friendships. And we talk about different topics that affect us all at midlife. So it could be anything from, you know, friendship to raising kids to our parents aging, you know, all these different things that kind of affect us at this time are topics that we have on the podcast and on our website and things like that. So we're just starting out. But yeah, it's I make a little passion project.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And thank you, Brenda, for sharing that. And I'm really proud of you for stepping into your greatness and sharing your greatness with all these people because it's definitely needed. And that support system is needed more than ever now. So thank you for putting that together. I'm proud of you for doing that. And I'm excited to see what's to come in the future. Anybody else that want to share like what they're proud of themselves for? Okay, cool. So yeah, the reason why I did this was because how often do we take a moment to say, hey, I'm proud of you. You know, I'm proud of you for doing that. Like, good job. Good job, Gabby. Good job, Jennifer. Good job, Brenda. Good job, Darlene. We don't do that. What we do is we are hard on ourselves. Like that's definitely, as soon as we mess up, we're quick to just, pow, you're so stupid, or you're so dumb, or you're so this, you're that. And it's time that we stop being hard on ourselves and be kind to ourselves. So right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share a video with all of you about self-compassion. And I think this is something that I learned from Kristen Neff, and that's the one that she's the one that's going to be talking. But let me just share this video with all of you and just the power and the importance of self-compassion. Okay, so let me just make sure. Just give me a thumbs up or a yes that you can hear it. Let me see. Give me a second here.
What is self-compassion?
Okay, can you
I
hear
think
it?
it's usually easier for people to understand what self-compassion is if they think of what it feels like to have compassion for others, which is more familiar. So let's say you've got a good friend who you're very close to, and she tells you something that's gone wrong in her life, or maybe she's made some big mistake, blown it on a work assignment. So if you have compassion for your friend, the first thing is you're tuned into her suffering. I mean, maybe your friend doesn't even say she's upset, but you just notice the way she looks and you say, oh, what's wrong? Tell me about it. So you've got to notice that she's suffering first. And then in response to that suffering, you have to be kind, caring, supportive, try to comfort your friend, soothe her, let her know that it's okay, let her know that you still care. And then finally, it's important to remember that suffering is part of the human experience. You might say to your friend, oh, it's only human, it happens to all of us. It's an experience that we all share, so your friend doesn't feel isolated in her suffering. So compassion really involves 3 basic components: noticing suffering, being kind and caring in response to that suffering, and remembering that imperfection is part of the human experience, something we all share.
And is this the same for self-compassion then?
Exactly the same. So with self-compassion, the most important step actually is to notice your own suffering. And a lot of people say, well, isn't that blindingly obvious? But in fact, it's not. Especially when your suffering comes from your own self-judgment and self-criticism. Some of our worst pain is when, we look in the mirror and you notice you've gained 10 pounds. Well, that is a real moment of suffering that's worthy and deserving of a compassionate, caring, comforting response. But most of us don't do that. We just keep on beating ourselves up. Or let's say something happens like your child gets sick. Most of us go straight into problem solving mode. What do I have to do? Who do I have to call? And you forget to say, wow, this is really difficult. This is really stressful. I need some soothing and comforting. Most people forget that they need to give that to themselves. So again, with self-compassion, it's noticing that you're suffering, and it's being kind in the face of that suffering, saying, oh, this is really hard, poor thing, this is stressful, this is difficult, or it's really hard to feel inadequate or ashamed about something, and just being really open-hearted towards yourself. And then finally, it's so important remembering that suffering and imperfection is part of the shared human experience. I mean, where's that contract you signed before you came into this world saying you would be perfect and life would be perfect? And yet most of us, when something goes wrong, either in ourselves and our lives, we say, hey, this isn't supposed to be happening. But in fact, it is supposed to be happening. It's part of the experience. It's okay. So self-compassion involves remembering when things go wrong, when you make mistakes, that you need to be kind and caring and supportive towards yourself. And the great thing about self-compassion is that you're always there. You're there 24/7 to give you help when you need it most.
Oh, my bad. All right. Let me just close this out. All right. Okay, so just real quick, like how was that for everybody? Just to hear her talk about self-compassion. Did anybody like resonate with any of this? What she was talking about?
Is it okay if I mute myself?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Can you hear?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me it did, and we were just talking about this, me and the girls in the breakout room, and I was kind of telling them a little bit, like basically what she was saying is, look at yourself as a friend, like just how you would treat a friend and give them advice and love and caring, like that's the same thing you want to take a step back and do for yourself. And that's just something that I've been recently learning to do, like within the past couple of months.
Nice.
And so that just being more patient with myself and staying authentic and just being proud of myself for that, for always being my authentic self no matter what, like even if sometimes I come across as crazy or whatever, like, but I'm always authentic. And I really like, that's one thing that I really appreciate about myself.
Nice. That was powerful. Good job. I'm proud of you, Darlene. That was really good. And thank you for being so open to share that with us.
Thank you.
I appreciate you for that. And then it's hard to see in yourself. It's hard to see it in yourself. Seeing myself as a friend is difficult sometimes, but it is getting better. I love myself more every day. Yeah, nice. Good job, Carla. Proud of you. Yeah, this is good stuff. And I think it's really important, like you said, we can't be so hard on ourselves. And like, where is that contract that you signed that you had to be perfect? Man, that one right there was so powerful, because when you're born, when our babies are born, we're like, oh, look at this beautiful little thing. Like, oh, it's so cute. I love them. And then as they're growing, we're like, hey, man, like, you got to do this, or you have to be a certain way, and where did that unconditional love go, And as I'm speaking to you all about this, I'm like talking to myself as well. So, I'm kind of like, man, what's up with these expectations? Like, God, and it goes back to the expectations of you know, change it for appreciation. Like, love them for who they are and what they do. Love yourself for who you are and what you do. But it's always like you said, you know, isn't it obvious? Like when you're being hard on yourself, it's not like we don't recognize it, but we got to recognize it. The more that we recognize it, the easier that it gets. And we're actually going to do something right now to, let me see here. I gotta make sure. Okay, cool. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a quick activity to have a little bit of compassion towards yourself and a little bit of self-love towards yourself. And it's gonna be a self-forgiveness activity that we're gonna do. I'm just gonna stop the sharing really quick right now. All right. So this is what I want you to do right now is, and I'll show you, like, I'm gonna show you the example first, and then you're gonna do it. Okay. So pretty much what you're gonna be doing is you're gonna be putting your hand on your heart, and then you're gonna be telling yourself, for me, it's Andres, obviously. Andres, I forgive you and I love you. And then I want you to say it to yourself right now. Your name, and then I forgive you and I love you. And then I want you to feel all the love in the world for yourself, in your heart, in your mind, in your body, and say, I forgive you and I love you, and breathe it in. And next, I want you to think about all the things that you have been hard on yourself for, and tell yourself, I forgive you for this, for that. I forgive you for these, for this. And then at the end, say, I love you. Forgive yourself for all the things that you've been hard on yourself for lately. Say everything that you can think of. And then say, I love you at the end, and breathe it in. Say everything that you've been hard on yourself for. And then say at the end, I love you. And with all the love in the world, say, I love you, and breathe it in. Feel your heart and feel love for yourself. Feel the forgiveness for yourself. Just let it go. And one more time, just say, I forgive you and I love you, and breathe it in. Let it go. All right, love it, love it. I'm glad I see everybody is doing it. I love it. Cool. Just real quick, like just going around the room, like how did it feel for yourself to forgive yourself and love yourself? I don't know if you want to start with, I'll start with Carla. That's who I see. If you'd like to unmute yourself, or if you want to drop it in the chat, whatever. Make it easier. Emotional tears. Love it, Amber. Thank you for being so courageous. I appreciate you for that.
I think that I have been working on this for a little while about loving myself, and I say that a lot to myself. I forgive myself. But how it feels is it feels like the real Carla can start. So the fake Carla, the one that I was always trying to be, is gone. And then I forgive myself for allowing myself to create an avatar of me and not love me. So I love the real me now. I love all that I have and don't have, and I'm okay with it.
Love it.
So.
Thank you. Thank you, Carla. I appreciate you for that. You're amazing. How about Jennifer?
I felt like a little bit of a block. Like it was hard for me.
Okay.
To say those things to myself.
Okay.
Forgive me. So, but it did make me think about, okay, well, what do I forgive myself for? And the first thing that came to mind was, I forgive you for aging. I forgive you for not being young, like having youthful skin anymore, because those are things I'm really noticing now. And And I've been feeling it brought me back to the rules where I'm like, that's one of my rules, that I have to be young in order to be valued. And so now I can recognize that. So I tried to get through the roadblock and come up with something that I truly forgave myself for. I felt like I really had to think of something.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate you for that, for being so courageous. And that's, it's hard at first, but the more that you do it, it's like everything, you know, like it'll get easier. For me, especially me as a man, like saying I forgive myself and I love my, especially a Hispanic man, it's like, whoo, man, that's like a big, like this guy is, it's kind of weird, you know, just that's that. So, but thank you for being so courageous and being so willing to at least get started. A lot of people never even get started. You're getting started. I encourage you to do it more. And you just said it right now. So that was beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate you for that. How about you, Darlene? How was that experience for yourself?
I think it was kind of the same as how the previous person just said. There was like a little bit of a block. Like for me, I had to really focus and like push past it, and like I forgive myself, and like I love myself, and you know, I had to really push to feel it. I did feel it a little bit, but I think I gotta I think I'm probably gonna have to keep doing that exercise for a while before it is all the way like solidified.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And like I said, yeah, it's just doing it more. It's going to get easier. I promise you. I've been doing this for a few years now, and man, it's so liberating for real. It really helps. How about you, Brenda? How was that experience for you?
You know, it's tough for me too, because I'm so new to it. And I almost get a little anxiety when I start to try to forgive myself. Like it's like, wait a minute, you can't do that, you know? And so I get a little bit anxious about it, but it's like every time I do it a little bit more, it feels a little bit better. And on the other end of it, it feels almost like a release and a little bit liberating, that you are forgiving yourself for something. It's just, you know, that A to B point to get there is it's hard. It's hard. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Brenda. I appreciate you. And I'm very proud of you, Brenda, like for a lot of the work that you're doing on yourself. I really am. So thank you for sharing that. Teresa, how was that experience for you?
I think it's part of the journey that I feel like I'm on. And so it's affirming of that peaceful feeling that has come over a long period of time. And it's always good to continue that practice. And I think that's why it's valuable to be part of these opportunities.
Yeah. Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate you. Gabby, how was that experience for you?
I think that, well, we've worked together. I mean, you've helped me a lot on this. But I think I was able to embrace it a little better, I noticed, because I know when I say about when we come into a space and we introduce ourselves to other people and just meeting new people and who we have to be around these people, I've realized I have to go in internally, the genuine good person and the heart that I have. You know, my intentions, I know what they are genuinely. So just knowing that has helped me right now. I'm like, the love that I want to give to other people, because that's how I really feel, that I'm like, why do I feel that I love people? You know, that I want to love people and support people and and accept or have that compassion for everyone through all of our experience. I think I was able to put myself in the love that I'm giving out. And I was like, wow, this is weird to see it that way, that the love that I want to give to someone else, I'm feeling it. I'm wanting to give it to myself right now, because I've never done this. I've done this exercise with you, Andres, when I'm working through wanting to love myself. Right now, the space that I'm in was refreshing to see that the love that I actually genuinely feel for loving people, that I'm actually giving it to myself in this exercise that I've never done in this way, in this kind of moment for myself, was helpful. So I think that it's it's refreshing in this case. And I think that the awareness of each of us in the different processes that we are in the different stage is a step closer to feeling this way for everyone, I guess.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Thank you, Gabby. I appreciate you. And yeah, through the time that we've been working together, I'm really proud of you. You've come a long way. You've grown so much, and I'm just really proud of you, man. Like we've been working for some time now, and wow, like the growth that you're on, man. So proud of you. Makes me happy. How about Julie? How was that experience for you?
I think it was great. It was very emotional though, and very eye-opening. But like Brenda said, it was definitely very liberating. I need to definitely forgive myself for having high expectations of myself and of others. Like Jennifer pointed out, the whole aging thing. It's hard getting older. It's hard to look in the mirror. My mom is sitting next to me here and she's agreeing. She turns 88 next week.
Ooh, nice. Love it.
Yeah, here she's in the hospital. You guys say hi to her real quick here.
Hi. Sending love to you.
Thanks. But anyway, I need to bring it back to having that unconditional love for others and for myself. I feel like I'm just often out trying to save the world, but what about ourselves? We need to start with what's in the mirror, what's right in front of us. And then also, like others have said, we need to repeat this. We need to keep this exercise going, not necessarily in the group setting here, but this is something we can so easily do on our own.
Yes.
And we need to reassure ourselves every day, love ourselves first, because we can't love others if we don't love ourselves first.
Boom. Exactly. Thank you, Julie. I appreciate you. What about Connie? Would you like to share, Connie? I know, I think she might have put that, she got emotional, but I don't know if you want to, Connie, if you want to share, if you want to mute yourself, or you want to drop in the chat. And then while we wait for Connie, how about Amber? Would you like to, emotional tears? Okay, gotcha.
I can elaborate on that more
Okay,
if you can
cool. Yeah,
hear me. No, it's well, this exercise I've been doing similar for the last 8 years in my own, self-healing journey that I've been on. But that's for my past, like decades ago of, self-forgiveness that I've been working on. The reason I got so emotional this time is because there's stuff that's fresh. You know what I mean? So definitely need to practice it more. This is my first time I've ever attended any type of masterclass or even been in a group setting with like-minded individuals, especially women who are going through similar things. You know what I mean? So it's definitely something that I'm going to continue working on. So I appreciate you for sharing this.
Thank you, Amber. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for being so courageous and willing to be here today, because it does take courage to just come to like a masterclass, not knowing what to expect, but sometimes when we don't step into the unknown, we're missing out on opportunities like this to be able to connect and meet new amazing people who are on the same path as you are. And right now, honestly, like you're part of the 1%, maybe like 0.0001%, because how many people are doing this work? Not too many, So, I'm very proud of everybody for being willing to do this. And like Julie mentioned earlier, the reason why we must forgive is because if you cannot forgive yourself, you cannot forgive others. You cannot do that. And you cannot give what you do not have. So you have to begin to practice to give it to yourself. I remember when I was listening to Wayne Dyer, that when he said that, I said, oh yeah, I can't forgive other people. I can't love other people if I don't love myself, if I don't forgive myself. And so I know for myself personally, like, to forgive myself was very hard, but then it made it easier to forgive other people. And I just want to share a quick couple of stories of some people in my life that really, like, when I heard their story, it really touched my heart and it made me feel bad for the experience that they had. Like, I remember when I was working at a foster home, I remember this one particular boy, Daniel. And I remember Daniel was like a really strong kid, very resilient. He came from Honduras and crossed the line. I mean, he had a lot of challenges, but I remember this kid was always like in a good mood, running around and playing around. He was about 16. And I remember one time I saw Daniel and he was just sitting there and he was really sad. And I was like, man, what's going on with this kid? And I said, hey, Daniel, like, what's going on, man? Are you okay? And he says, I don't know. I'm just feeling kind of sad right now because I remembered my mom. And I said, oh, you miss her, huh? And he says, I don't know if I miss her, but I just remember this one particular experience when I was 5 years old. And I remember because his mom used to get drunk a lot and do a lot of drugs. And he said, I remember one time my mom coming from partying, and she was looking for a cigarette, and she was like, where's the cigarettes? And she couldn't find a cigarette. And then she looked at him and she's like, what do you want? And then he was just like, didn't know what to say. And then she said, man, I would trade you for a cigarette right now. And she started laughing in front of this kid, 5-year-old kid. And I asked him, like, how did that make you feel? And he said, it made me feel like I was worthless. And like, I feel like I'm not even worth a cigarette. Like, that was how powerful that was when his mom told him that. And it was just the power of those words and just how it can affect us even when we're a kid. I also remember one of my clients who when she was 9 years old, as a little kid, she was always told by her mom that she was ugly and she was dumb. And right now she's like in her late 30s. And to this day, like, I remember we were talking about that, like, I just feel like really dumb and ugly. And just imagine, just like for almost 30 years, that affecting somebody. That's the effect that these words have on us. And so we have to be mindful of these words that people tell us, but then also the words that we tell ourselves, because those words, they become thoughts. Those thoughts create the way we feel. That feeling creates the action we take, and then that gives us the result. And if we get a negative result, here comes another negative thought, feeling, action, result. And it's just a vicious cycle of negative thinking. And we have to understand that this thinking is what's creating our reality. You see, I remember listening to Earl Nightingale and him saying, you become what you think about, but sometimes you become what other people tell you. So this kid, ever since he was 5 up until 15, 16, he thought that he was not worth a cigarette. This woman who was told that she was ugly and dumb, she thought she was ugly and dumb up until her late 30s. And so when this woman, I coached her around it, and I asked her these questions that I want to share with you. And I got this from the great Byron Katie. These questions to ask yourself whenever you're telling yourself a lie or a challenge that you're having. And I asked her these questions. I asked her first, is it true that you are ugly and dumb? And then she said, well, I'm not dumb, but I am kind of ugly. And honestly, this woman was not ugly. I mean, she was a pretty good looking woman. And I was like, dang. And I said, do you absolutely know it's true that you're ugly and dumb? And she said, well, no, I mean, I'm not ugly. And I'm obviously not dumb. But then I asked her, how do you react when you think that thought that you're dumb and ugly? And she said, well, I don't take action. I stay stuck. I don't move forward. I feel really low self-esteem. I feel ugly. I feel dumb. And then I said, what would you be without that thought? And as soon as I asked her that question, she said, I would be courageous. I would take action. I would be bold. I would do all these amazing things that I know that I'm capable of. And I told her, okay, turn the thought around. That's the story. And so, and these questions are available to us at any moment. We can coach ourselves with this. And I told her, that's the thought that has been paralyzing you from taking action, of feeling like you're not, that you're ugly and that you're dumb, that you can't do this. So, she's doing coaching and she's like, but I don't know, like that coaching, I can't do it. And I told her, you need to turn the thought around. So if you ask yourself these questions, whenever you're having challenges or any challenges that may be of something that somebody told you, you challenge it immediately. And this is a habit that you can create, just like that habit of loving yourself and forgiving yourself, asking yourself these questions, because now that you realize that it's a lie, now it's a choice. Are you going to continue to sabotage yourself? Are you going to continue to beat yourself up? It is a choice now, because now that you're aware, now you can continue to go down that same road. And it reminds me of this story by Wayne Dyer that he says, they told him, describe yourself in 4 chapters, 4 sentences. And then there's this woman that talks about her story where she says, I walk down a road and there's a hole in the road and I fall into the hole. Second chapter, I walk through the same road. I see the hole there, and for some reason, I still fall into the hole. Third chapter, I walk down the same road again, but this time I go around the hole. And then the fourth and final chapter, she said, I just walked down a different road. How often do we walk down the same road and we see the hole and we continue to fall into that hole? Or we go around the hole, the people that we're like, well, I can still go, but I just gotta, be a little bit, I can take it, but I can still be there. But then it's like, you have a choice. You can go take a different road. And this is gonna help you to make sure that you take a different road. So in order for us to be able to overcome these challenges, we must challenge these things that other people have told us. And it's important that we also forgive these people. And the way that we can forgive these people is by simply writing a letter to them, just journaling like any feelings. So really quick right now, for a few minutes, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you write a letter to somebody who has done something to you that made you feel angry or sad. Maybe they said something to you that was mean. And I want you to just take a sheet of paper and I want you to write down forgiveness for these people. And also, I want you to thank them for this challenge that they gave you in your life. Like just forgiving them and saying thank you for the things that they taught you because of what they did, because there's a lesson in there, there's a gift. So I want you to take a few minutes to write a letter to somebody that has done something to you that made you mad or sad or angry. And I want you to just forgive them in your heart. Okay. Take a few minutes to write to this person. Okay. I'm going to give you about 3 minutes to write it out. Right. Excellent. So I saw some of you writing. I know you're still writing, and I encourage you after the session to continue to write this and just letting it go. But just really quick, I want to just have people drop in the chat. How was that experience for you to be able to like just write a forgiveness letter to somebody? If you'd like to drop in the chat really quick, or if you couldn't unmute yourself and just share briefly how that felt or how that was for you. Cathartic. Okay. And I'm embarrassed to say this, but I don't know what that means. My vocabulary is not that good. My apologies, Teresa. Sorry.
It's to release and
Okay.
feel like I've been able to let go once more, and
Thank you.
that's what.
Thank you. And I learned something new today. I learned a new word. Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else, like just briefly drop in the chat or just briefly just share, like unmute yourself. Trench is so good and freeing. Love it. Thank you, Carla. Anybody else?
I'm trying to figure out how I did my forgiveness. I mean, of my daughter's dad, and the way that I start separating the relationship and things that the expectations that we hold of people, that we really have expectations of ourselves and things, roles that we take because we become partners. But when it's just in the way that that partnership is developed in the first place, and then we're taking on this role and this responsibility, and that person doesn't take it because that's not what they were signing up for in the first place at all. You know, we weren't intending to be partners. And we developed a partnership as a result of a child that was coming. And you know, so it's analyzing that and saying, okay, they don't have what they can't give. You know, they didn't have it in the first place in that way, and so analyzing all of that and just being able to release and release and release all of those actions that they took because they didn't know any better, because they didn't have that experience or values implemented, or you know, there's different reasons. So it is, and I really like that Brenda's what you're doing, because I'm in the similar stage, you know, having to relearn of myself, getting to know myself, what I like, what I don't like, and what's out there and what you can expect and what's available and all these things. So
nice. Thank you for sharing that, Gabby. And man, this was, oh man, just some of the stuff that you guys are typing in the chat, really, thank you for that. I felt a little irritated and angry writing out the forgiveness part, but it felt good. And then saying thank you for all the lessons. I felt all the anger and frustration fade away, and felt nothing but forgiveness and compassion. I needed that. Damn, thank you, Darlene. Wow, that's so, hell yeah. It was very hard to choose anyone to forgive because I felt they didn't deserve it. I realized I have to practice forgiveness more intentionally. Okay, excellent. I love it. I love, Jennifer, that you're trying and you're willing to step into this new area. Like, I know it's hard. It's not easy. And I know for me, it was really hard at the beginning, especially some of the stuff that people did. I remember I would do forgiveness meditations and I would tell myself, man, this mother does not deserve it. Hell no. But then this is what I realized, was that to not forgiving is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. And when they say poison, it's the anger. That's what's killing us. And I knew that I had been doing this stuff, but this person did something that was really like messed up. And I was like, man, I don't know. Like, I can't forgive this person. And I knew that I was like, but I'm hurting myself. Like, this anger is only hurting me. And I suffered for like 3 days. And then finally I said, you know what? I got to forgive this guy. Like, I got to forgive him. So I forgave him in my heart. I let it go. And that's why it's really important that we practice forgiveness more, because, man, we will have challenges, but that's why it's important that we practice this more. So I just want to say I'm really proud of, people that are new to this, like Jennifer, that she's like, oh, I'm not sure, like this was kind of hard, but I'm proud of you for being willing to try something new. That's very courageous of you, for real. And so I'm really happy for everybody that try to do this. Like, and then I just want to share another video that is very powerful. It's about 4 minutes long, and I hope you enjoy it. Here we go.
You are who you've been looking for. So stop looking for more unless you're looking in a mirror, because it's about time for you to see clearly that you are who you've been looking for. And that empty feeling you got, that hole in your chest, you only got that feeling because you think you're not blessed with everything you need. You see, we live in a consumerist society, which means they need you to buy stuff. And the easiest way to sell it is to tell you you're not enough. Buy this car, you'll get girls. Buy this bra, you'll get guys. And we're seeing it so much that we start believing these lies. But the truth is, the makeup they're selling to make you feel prettier is the same makeup you buy to stop feeling shittier about this lie they keep telling you that you are not enough. And what about the movies we watch, all the shows on TV? The more I watch, the more I see I need you to complete me. And yes, love is the answer, love is the key, but if you can't love yourself, how could you ever love me? And loving yourself, what does that even mean? Like massages and selfies and that sort of thing? Because the more I think about it, the more it feels weird. I've always been taught that self-love was something to be feared. I've been taught that arrogance is bad and vanity, it's not good. And even my bracelets are telling me to act how Jesus would. So what should I do? How should I act? I'm supposed to love myself, but how do I even do that? Well, I got a trick that I picked up from a friend who noticed that I was quick to defend her when she would say something negative about herself. She would say, I'm so dumb. And I'd say, you're so brilliant. She'd say, I'm so weak. And I'd say, you're so resilient. And when she said, I feel ugly, and I said, you look beautiful, she asked me why I was so dutifully filling up her cup constantly and yet treating my own cup so irresponsibly. Because when I looked in the mirror, my voice was quite clear. You're ugly, you're too thin, your hairline's receding, you got a pimple on your chin. And that was when she gave me a piece of advice that changed my life. She gave me a hug. And she said, treat yourself like someone you loved. Treat yourself like someone you loved. Now, I had been standing, but I needed to be sitting because I couldn't believe that I had been letting myself keep forgetting that I was who I'd been looking for. And deep in my core, I knew it was time to stop looking for more until I could look through all my fear and look into a mirror and see clearly that the man looking back at me was the only one who can make me happy, and I am already enough. And I am not any more special or unique than you. That is why I'm here to speak to you. You are already enough. And when you start to see that, you will start to be that. Your world will get brighter, your load will get lighter, and you can see that with life. You can be a lover, not a fighter. And that life, you deserve it. Because you are worth it. And there is no point in letting yourself keep forgetting, because no matter what you say or do, you are perfect. And so today, I hope I leave you with a direction correction away from the flaws you see in your reflection. They aren't flaws to me. They are simply protection against all the doubts you have of your perfection. So start today. Take a good, long look in the mirror and say, I am who I've been looking for.
Right. That video, man. I don't know. Me personally, that kind of gets me choked up sometimes. Like, man, because sometimes like I have those moments of like, am I good enough? You know, like, oof. So, oh, man, that was powerful. So
Thank you, Andres, for all of your work.
thanks. I think I got so emotional because I thought about that guy that committed suicide this last week because how he felt like he wasn't good enough. And he didn't feel good enough to be in this world anymore. It just really made me so sad to think about that. And I think that's why it's important that we have like these opportunities. So that's why I want to say thank you for all of you for being here. And for, you know, not only giving to yourself like this moment, to this space to be here, but also, you know, for giving to somebody that is in need right now, you know, like all this, all everybody that paid for this, it's going to be going to that family. Because you can imagine just a woman with 3 kids, how that's going to be, you know, it's just, so, and just remember that you are enough, like really, you're perfect just the way you are, you know, with your imperfections, all this stuff, like just accept yourself for who you are. Like the guy said, you know, it's like, man, we're so hard on ourselves so often, but knowing that we are just enough, just how we are. And whew, man, that really got to me. So really quick, I just want to let everybody know also, like, actually before we get going, like, does anybody have any comments, any questions? And I'm getting this these messages. I appreciate the messages. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so
I want to say that we have to be aware of those things because it starts with a thought. It starts with a thought. And I don't want to say that I was suicidal, but I remember there was a thought of something.
yeah. Thanks, Gabby. Yeah, but we've had those moments. I think it's crazy. Sometimes these thoughts, like I've had before, you know, where I was suicidal like many times, and that's why it pains me to see other men or just people, you know, take their lives. It hurts me. Yeah, sending virtual hugs to you too, Amber. Okay, so and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share this barcode, this QR code. So if you could scan it, and I would love some feedback from you about the masterclass. And then also, if you type in the word love, you will get a free PDF with 12 ways to love yourself more. Okay, so if you could just scan it and then just give me some feedback, I would greatly appreciate it. You know, what you loved about this workshop. It would mean so much to me. And also, you know, if you're the type of person that is kind of having some challenges right now, that, you know, maybe you're needing some guidance or some help, I'm also offering a free 30-minute consultation for anybody that's interested to take, you know, back their personal power and maybe step into their goals and their dreams, overcome like any self-doubt or procrastination that you might be going through. I would love to give that to you. So just simply email me, or you can send me a message in Facebook, and I'd be happy to give you that free consultation. And then, you know, we can talk about how I can help you. And if it's something that maybe could be beneficial for you, then, you know, we could potentially work together. But, you know, I just throwing it out there. But yeah, if you could just it'll take like a couple of minutes. If I could get your feedback, I would really, really appreciate it. Right. Does anybody have any questions, any final comments, or anything they would like to share? Would love to hear that. I know we're a little bit past the time, but if anybody likes to. And then, by the way, this is my email and my website. So if you want to send me an email, you know, if you're interested in that consultation, let me know. Or if you just have any questions, feel free to reach out. But yeah. If anybody has any comments or any questions, please feel free to just let me know. And just again, thank you so much. Like, we raised $400 for this family, so I'm excited about that. That's, yeah.
Andres, before I go, I just wanted to tell you thank you for for inviting me to this. And it's good to know that I'm not alone, like in all of this, trying to make myself better and all of that. So it's good to know that I'm not the only one trying to figure some stuff out.
Yeah. Thank you, Darlene. Yeah, you're definitely not alone. And thank you for being here. And thank you for giving me your trust to be here in this space. I really appreciate you for that.
You got it.
Thank you. Anybody else? Questions, comments? All right. Cool. Well, man, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate all of you. I have so much love for everybody here. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You have my email, you have my website. Some of you, if you're on Facebook, you can send me a message. But other than that, I hope you all have a beautiful Saturday. And just remember, you are enough and you're beautiful just the way you are. Okay? All right. So everybody have a great day. Take care. Thank you. All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you all. Take care. Bye-bye.